Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kalani, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to get the best possible sound on Joia tubes, which are these. And we'll talk a little bit about best practices and also some tips for you so you can help your younger musicians access this instrument a little more efficiently and make it easy. And also sound as good as it possibly can. So welcome back to World Drum Club. I'm Kalani. This is a set of the upper, alto Joia tubes. It's a chromatic set from Joia Tubes, joia.com. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is talking about placement of your paddle. We use these neoprene paddles. If you don't have these, you want to make sure you have some because it's important to get the best sound. So I'm assuming you have these. If you don't, you can go to the website and get them. They should come with your instrument if you have Joia tubes. So let's just get right to it. In my opinion, the best sound you're going to get is if you thwack it. Yes, and that is the correct term. I don't know if it is. If you thwack the Joia tube, you want to be flat on top, pretty much flat, so not angling, right? And in my opinion, again, you want to be a little bit off center, so not exactly like fitting. You can see the overhead view, not exactly centered, but a tiny bit off center. And how much off center is that? I'd say it's about 3/8 of an inch, or 3/16 rather, maybe between an eighth and a quarter of an inch. It takes experimentation, and this is just on this instrument right now. It might be different on a different range or whatever, but in general, and I want to play this for you so you can hear the difference. And that is, if I hit it square, I know it's round, but that's the term. That's the term we use. But if I hit it dead on, right? We get the sound, but let me move up a little. To me, that sound is a little what I would call boxy. And I realize, again, maybe not the best adjective to describe a round thing hitting a round thing, but to me, I like to hear, I prefer the sound where it's a little off center, and to me it's more open and it's more resonant. Okay, so that is, you can see on the side view, on the top view, you can see there's a little crescent showing. So that's with, let's call it the crescent hit. All right, or just off center. And again, I'm going to go back to hitting it dead on. You hear that? So there's to me, again, there's and I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying I prefer the little off center hit. The dead-on hit is a little more powerful, has a little more attack, but to me it also has this issue where it almost like restricts the sound a little bit and it doesn't allow it to come out. And I do want to talk about how you can facilitate that as well, but that's just on center, and slightly off center. Now, if we move a little farther off center, then we start to lose resonance. So let's go from dead on to just off center, and now I'm going to move even farther. Yeah, and now we're getting a different sound, which is it's okay. I mean, they're all sounds, right? So it's however you want to express it. Right now, I'm just talking about what I think what I think of as the most resonant and the most impactful, higher volume, most resonant sound. Certainly, all sounds that you can make on any instrument are musically valid. It's just you want to do it with accuracy and intention and purpose. That's all. Certainly, you could play out at the edges, as an effect. So let's talk about the other thing you can do to have the best sound and to not mute the instrument. And this relates to drumming. I teach a lot of drumming, and I would say the same thing about drumming. And that is, you don't want to leave your paddle down, right? In fact, I'll just do it more extreme. If you're hitting dead on and you're not rebounding, then you're really muting the instrument. But there's also a little bit of a pitch change, because it's kind of like you're changing the resonance in the tube, and you're slowing the air down by blocking it if you stay on the tube, and thereby it actually bends the pitch down a little bit. And I'm not sure if that's coming out in the video. You might have to listen with earbuds or good speakers to hear that, but I can hear it from here, as opposed to all right. Now, you might be wondering why I have some rubber bands. If you've noticed, there are little rubber bands attached around the resonation tubes. That's to keep the higher tubes from bouncing up. So if that's an issue, if you've noticed that the shorter tubes tend to bounce up when you hit them, that's why the rubber bands are there. You can see them best in the side view. But you can see right there that the tube wants to jump up a little bit. So even though that's not the topic of this video, that's just another tip for you. Okay, so let's review best practices for getting, in my opinion, the best sound, the most resonant sound out of your Joia tubes. You're going to strike them just off center. We'll call that the crescent hit, or, off center hit, whatever you want to call it. And then 2, you're going to rebound, right? You're going to let that sound come out, get out of the way, let it come out. And then to close, let's talk about how you can make it easy for some of your younger players, or maybe anybody. Now, as a percussionist and as a mallet player, I was always taught to play hand over hand, right? And on this set, of course, it's easy to start. It makes sense to start on the extreme right with the right hand, and then alternate, and then I'm ending on the left. You can't see it on that shot, but let's see. Can you see it down here? Kind of. All right, so that's what I would do as a percussionist and as a mallet player. However, again, my opinion is if you want to make it really easy and consistent for your students, what I would do is, and I know some of these are off camera, but I'll just use this. We'll start on the D. Well, no, we're going to start on the C, because if you split this octave, right, we're just talking white keys right now, the naturals. If you split it in 2, you've got 4 plus 4, right? And what I would recommend is either the player could choose which hand they want to play with, and then just play the whole thing with one hand. For consistency, so that's one option. But what I would say is you could split the difference, literally split, and we're going to play from F to C, from F down to the left with our left hand, and from G to C, G up to the upper C with our right hand. And you could try it. Well, you should try this and see how it feels. Now, why is this? Why would this be a good option? Again, it's my opinion that splitting, not crossing the center line for a lot of players, especially younger children, not crossing the center line, right? Not moving past, because let's say my center is right here at the G, like the G and the F where I'm sitting. So if I cross over, that is a little more advanced, right, than just kind of moving in this way, all right? And again, you know, you ought to try this for yourself and see how it feels. But I would just give this as an option. I would make this an option for anyone, but especially your younger students. So either everything with one hand, whichever hand, doesn't matter. Maybe try both, you know, see how it feels. And or split it left and right. And of course, this would work well, and I'm assuming it would work well if the tempo isn't super fast and, you know, they're not playing a lot of notes together or in a rapid succession, you know, just which, if they're young or if they're inexperienced players, that's probably the case, right? So we can make that assumption, I think, fairly safely. The only exception to that would be with a single hand is if you wanted to do a roll, you know, or something like that, like a trill, which of course you can do anywhere, all right, as a trill or an effect or something. And then you can work up to alternating, you know, so maybe I would say if you're going to practice alternating, maybe just do it within a small range, like I just did, right, and then build up from there. All right, you guys, well, I hope that was helpful. If it was, give us a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, make sure to subscribe to World Drum Club, and also for more educational content and for complete courses on lots of things, drums, ukulele, native flute, facilitation, all sorts of things, come to patreon.com/Kalani and see me over there. Sign up at the courses tier, become a supporter, and get tons of videos, tons of lessons that are not here for free on the interwebs, and become a supporter of World Drum Club at the same time. Thanks for joining me. I hope this was helpful. Go out and make some great music.